President Joe Biden's first 100 days in office, which is the period where every president tries to get their big things done. You know, FDR introduced the New Deal. Ronald Reagan rolled back the welfare state. And Bill Clinton installed that stripper pole in the Situation Room. And to celebrate the occasion, last night Joe Biden delivered his first address to Congress. Yes, for hundreds of years, Joe Biden has sat and watched other presidents give speeches to Congress, but now it was his turn. And of course, thanks to COVID, things looked a little different than usual last night. Instead of a full chamber, they just had a few people scattered around. It looked like the lights just came on in a porno theater. But still, the big names showed up. Chuck Schumer was there, ready to trip any insurrectionists that broke in. The second dude was in attendance, signaling a runner to steal second base, I think. And in a historic moment, Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi became the first all-female duo ever to get front row seats to a president's ball spot. But of course, the star of the night was President Joseph Roku Biden, who used the night to present America with a very ambitious agenda.
America's moving forward, but we can't stop now. Let's raise the minimum wage to $15. Let's lower deductibles for working families on the Affordable Care Act. And let's lower prescription drug costs. 4 additional years of public education for every person in America. Access to quality, affordable child care. Rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people they serve. The country supports immigration reform. We should act. Replacing 100% of the nation's lead pipes and service lines. We need a ban on assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. With the plans outlined tonight, we have a real chance to root out systemic racism that plagues America. Let's end cancer as we know it. It's within our power. It's within our power to do it.
Wow. Ending racism and cancer. Biden is dreaming big. I mean, I half expected him to go, you know what? F it. We're going to Mars right now. Get in the rocket, everyone. There's a rocket outside. Everyone, we're going to Mars right now. And by the way, for someone who people think of as a moderate, this agenda was hella progressive. Free college, free childcare. I mean, you'd think that Bernie was just off screen, you know, with his fists like, don't you dare forget about student debt, Joe Biden, or I'm going to shove 99% of this fist up your ass. But I guess this is the energy that people always bring to a new job, you know? Joe Biden's got that new job enthusiasm, which always fades over time. You know, and right now he's like, I'm changing everything. And like a year or so from now, his top priority is going to be angling his computer monitor so no one can see he's watching Outlander. Now, of course, Biden will only be able to get any of this done if he can win over the country. But if the only people he needs to persuade are liberals on CNN and MSNBC, well then, my friends, he's got this thing in the bag.
Every single sentence had a very clear point to it, and every line of it had that Biden humility in it.
It was bracing to hear a speech delivered at times by a whisper. His use of voice modulation was rather extraordinary.
It was amazing to be able to have a conversational tone, almost as if he were channeling a FDR fireside chat.
It was really beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful. It is so personal and so intimate. And his voice, that kind of grandfatherly, whispery voice.
Wow, okay. I like how the news went from, we gotta hold those in power accountable, to, aw, he's just like my grandpa. I love him so much. Also, grandfathers are not really known for whispering that they're gonna end systemic racism. In fact, usually grandfathers are whispering, I think the bus driver is a Puerto Rican. Unfortunately for Joe Biden, the entire country is not made up of liberal pundits. There are also conservatives, and they were just a little less excited.
It was an odd speech other than someone who believes deeply that a socialist vision of America, a big government vision of America, is what the American people want.
Joe Biden scared the hell out of me tonight. He looked weak as commander-in-chief, and he embraced socialism.
The words of this speech sounded like what you would hear from a 15-year-old if you gave him a credit card with no credit limit on it, except the words came out of the mouth of an adult who should know better.
Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn tweeted, you know who else liked universal daycare? with a link to a 1974 newspaper article about daycare in the Soviet Union.
Okay, people. Even if Stalin gave people free daycare, that is not what made him Stalin, all right? No one who ever suffered through his regime was like, the famine and the gulags, they were bad enough. But he also gave out toys to kids. That was the worst. And at this point, we always know that no matter what Democrats suggest, Republicans are going to say it's socialist. This has become a game now. Everything they do is socialist. Socialist. But ironically, it's never socialism when Republicans want to give money to big oil companies or help farmers in the Midwest. No, that's not socialism. These politicians are like sports fans now. You know, it's always a foul when it's the other team. That's a foul! Come on, ref, that's a foul! He did the... Oh, did you see how he looked at him? That's a foul! Come on, ref, do something!
Dude, your guy just shot the opponent!
Hey, you know what, buddy? It's a contact sport. Man up. So look, it's not surprising that conservatives are unhappy with Biden's progressive proposals, but that wasn't their only complaint. No, Biden's speech didn't just make them angry, it also made them tired.
Boy, that was a dull, lifeless, boring speech.
It's like he's a corpse. I mean, you can't, it's unwatchable. It was so boring. I just wanted to, Werther's original watching this thing and go to sleep.
It was one of the most dull speeches that I've ever seen.
Republican leader in the House, that would be Mr. McCarthy of California. This whole thing could have just been an email.
And then, of course, we get shots of Ted Cruz sleeping in the audience.
You see that? Ted Cruz was so bored at that speech that he fell asleep. And I know what you're thinking right now. You think I'm going to say something like, oh, that's weird. I thought lizards slept with their eyes open. But I'm not going to say that. Because honestly, that was the most relatable thing that Ted Cruz has ever done. Because that speech was boring. And when you consider that almost none of Biden's goals are actually going to get past Congress, I mean, we basically just listened to an old man talk for an hour about his dreams. But also, a policy speech is just a set of directions for where the president wants to take the country. And in a way, directions are supposed to be boring. I mean, you don't want Google Maps like, you know what would be crazy? Is if you drove into that lake. Do it, bitch. Do it now. Just do it. Just drive into the lake, dude. In fact, if it were up to me, these wouldn't even be speeches. You just print it out, let the people read it. I mean, when did we decide that you can only judge a policy proposal based on how entertaining the performance of it is? Although I'll bet that even if it was printed, the haters would just bitch about the font. Oh, really? Times New Roman? And he didn't even use one emoji? Worst address ever. But until then, we can't have people falling asleep in the middle of Biden's speeches. And it's safe to say that Biden's not going to get any more energy anytime soon. So maybe, just maybe, all he needs is someone to hype him up.
Independent experts estimate the American jobs plan will add millions of jobs and trillions of dollars to economic growth in the years to come.
Oh, yeah. Give it up for that economic growth, people. You down with GDP? Yeah, you know me. Hit him with another one, Joe.
This is the largest jobs plan since World War II. Creates jobs to upgrade our transportation infrastructure.
That's right. It's infrastructure time, people. The roof is on fire, which means we gotta build another roof with sustainable materials and maybe use some solar panels, y'all. That's what we're doing, right, Joe?
America will stand up to unfair trade practices that undercut American workers and American industries, like subsidies from state to state-owned operations and enterprises, and the theft of American technology and intellectual property.
Yeah, whatever he said. Yo, man, I'm sorry, Joe, man. I'm trying, man, but this is, the energy, and I don't have my menthols right now. You got to loose? I'm sorry, man. I tried, Joe. I tried.